That's yesterday's birthday boy, Billy Harner. Welcome to Slice of Life, the show where we at the Cyclones try to put some smiles on your timeline wherever you are all across the world, probably inside during quarantine, looking for some of those smiles. That's Billy. My name is Keith, and we'll dive in right away with our favorite social slice. Bill, it's good to see you're back in New York City with this selection today.
Yeah, so as we've touched on many times, at 7:00 here. Well, not physically here because I'm in Long Island. You're here, but whatever. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm still a New Yorker at heart. So in New York City, it has become kind of a nightly ritual for people to clap, cheer, honk their horns, bang on pots and pans, use the Funk Flex horn app, whatever you got to make noise. People use, and but when the cheering has died down, there's a new tradition that has started on the Upper West Side. Brian Stokes Mitchell is a Tony Award-winning actor with a voice that is straight out of a Disney movie or something. I don't know, man. He's got that baritone that just hits you right in the gut. So he is a Tony Award-winning actor, but he also recently recovered from coronavirus. He was not hospitalized, but he had 104-degree fever and had difficulty breathing, and was unable to sing for a really long time because of lung issues. But every night now, after the cheering dies down at 7:00, he takes to his window and uses this unbelievable voice to absolutely belt out some different inspirational songs every night for the people that have collect down below. Here's a look. So as we've said several times on the show, I'm a big Broadway guy, and part of the reason why I love it so much is that it's such a uniquely New York experience, and that's also the reason I love this video so much. Is, where else in the world can you just be walking down the street and all of a sudden this guy with a voice that is unlike anything I've heard just belt out tunes that just hit you right in the heart and give you some good feelings. And I don't know if I think the last night it was he recurringly sings "Dream the Impossible Dream." So very motivational song, very inspirational, and very cool thing to see.
Yeah, and I want for everybody out there who does not live in the city, I know that it looks terrifying on the news. I live on 70th Street on the east side, right by hospitals, and it's quiet. People are following the rules. It's not as terrifying as it seems on the news. And at 7:00, I mean, my fiance and I, we go out for a walk just to get some fresh air. Don't touch anybody, but we go for a walk or get some dinner or something. And at 7:00, everywhere now in the city, people are banging pots and pans. And one thing we noticed the other day, and that we've started to hear more often, is that the NYPD cops that are driving down 1st and 2nd Avenue, which, by the way, has no cars on it, they're blasting New York, New York by Frank Sinatra, which we've talked about. But it's great to see those things, and those are everywhere. Like, people are literally everywhere, leaning out of every window at 7:00. So it's really cool to see. Mine was a little bit more, I guess, sophomoric, Bill. My choice for favorite social slice. I found this the other day on Instagram. It's Things I Have Drawn. That's the name of the account. And I'm looking at these pictures, and Brendan, throw up a couple of these pictures. They're just outrageous. But apparently this guy named Tom has 2 kids, Al and Dom. Tom, the father, is a graphic designer. He takes his kids' drawings and brings them to life, whether it's graphics, photos, clay. But he puts it together on a computer program. And Bill, I don't have any kids, so I don't see like daily drawings, but I'm sure you do, and they're pretty ridiculous to look at, and now they're coming to life.
Yeah, I got a few of them yesterday for my birthday for my kids. So there's one in particular on the Instagram account where the kid drew like a portrait of their mom, and every parent has gotten one of these, and they're all just terrible. Like, they are just terrible, and it makes you feel so self-conscious about everything. But this guy drew the picture of the mom, brought it to life. It was spectacular. It's such a great idea, and a great way to pass your time in quarantine for sure. But this guy is obviously, he's very talented. So it's very cool to see for sure.
Some of these photos too are actually terrifying when they come to life. That's a disclaimer before you just start following.
Yeah, it looks like stuff that's under the. Sorry, it looks like the stuff that's under the bed in Toy Story 1 when they are in the neighbor's house. It is some nightmares come to life.
Time for some chicken parm heroes. I'll start this one. Justin Verlander and Kate Upton. You remember Justin Verlander used to pitch for the Detroit Tigers for 12 years. He and Kate have decided that they're going to spend basically his salary, baseball salary, as long as they can, as long as this goes on, to donate to the cause. And of course, he used to pitch for the Tigers. Kate was born in Michigan, so they have a connection there, and they, not forgetting where they come from, they've decided to donate around $200,000 to the Detroit Police Department. Obviously, New York, New Jersey, and then Michigan is like the third hardest hit. I don't know why. Maybe because car manufacturers are all in Michigan and China has a lot of that. I have no idea what the tie-in is, but they're hit hard. And the Verlanders have decided to pair up with two companies. The first one, Bella and Canvas, they're going to make 25,000 masks, one for apparently each officer, and then stock the cars, the patrol cars, with masks to give out to people that they see walking around. They're also going to be donating face shields to every officer. And then they partnered with a company called Be Strong for touchless thermometers to reduce the contact point. And finally, Feed the Frontlines Detroit. They're making a cash donation to them to feed frontline first responders, healthcare workers. Amazing to see these rich people in their high houses looking beautiful and amazing, and leave me alone world, but not these two. They're helping as much as they can, and with the hard stuff, the cash.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see, athletes in particular, they get a lot of flack when things go wrong, and people forget that they're humans a lot of time, and we have a lot of interaction with athletes, and we know that most of them are great guys and great people, and this is just another example of that there's so much good that goes on with these athletes, and they make a lot of money. Yeah, they're talented at their jobs, but for so many of them, they do things like this as well. So they don't forget where they came from, and then the people that have helped them along the way. So it's great to see Justin and Kate doing things like this. For me, my chicken parm hero is sort of a family thing. We'll lump it all together, but you might know the name Bob Wischusen, but you certainly would know his voice. He's the play-by-play broadcaster for the New York Jets, and one of the lead broadcasters for ESPN's college basketball and college football. So Bob is doing some great work in his own right. He created a GoFundMe called Let's Feed Our Heroes, where he is in person going and delivering food to different hospitals throughout New Jersey, and drive-through centers to provide meals for them as well. It was all started, he was speaking with his cousin who said that they turned the cafeteria in her hospital into a treatment center. So there was literally no place for them to go and eat. So he got the idea that he would be providing the meals since there was no place for them to get a hot meal. So he started doing that, and in just about a week or so, he's raised about $10,000. So great for Bob. But what I really wanted to mention was his wife, Julie Wischusen, who is a registered nurse, but she's also the mother of 5. So that are all between the ages of 11 and 18. So for the last little bit here, she's been focused on being the CEO of the Wischusen family instead of focusing on her RN. So in this whole situation, she has decided that she was going to be a volunteer. So she drives 4 times a week, about 25 minutes from her home to Keene University, where she's a volunteer for the drive-through testing facility. So she's a registered nurse, so she has some experience with this. She's also done some other overseas work in other countries as well. But it's just great to see people. I said when I was reading this story, I asked my wife, in this situation, you have 5 kids. Would I like to think that maybe I would do this, and maybe out of the goodness of my heart go and help all these people. I mean, there's obviously a demand for it, but I don't know if I would. I mean, at some point I'd probably be too worried about myself, but the type of person that Julie is and the type of all these volunteers that you're seeing this story, this is, one example of it, but there's countless numbers of people doing something similar. So they deserve all our applause and admiration, and it's amazing to see the selflessness that these people have in times of need like this.
Yeah, the word that jumped out from this story when I read it was volunteer. Like she's
Yeah.
volunteering to do this and doesn't have to do it, but is deciding to help rather than sit back. I mean, those of us who have no skills, I mean, we have to get out of the way, let let the pros
Sure.
do this. But she's volunteering, which is incredible.
Yeah, and it's not like something where she's like behind the scenes. She's up at car windows with people that think they have this disease, and right up, and she was in the articles and things that I was reading. She talks about her biggest thing is just trying to comfort people because they're all terrified, which is understandable. So providing that type of solace in an instance like that is a very special skill, and amazing that all these people are doing it across the country.
That is why we put this show together. But we also put the show together because we love baseball, Bill, and we love baseball and minor league baseball and fireworks. And we wish we were in Omaha, Nebraska the other night.
Yeah, Saturday nights and minor league baseball games with fireworks. It's like the peanut butter and jelly of the sports world. It's a timeless formula. You can't do better than it. So Saturday nights across America are fireworks nights for minor league teams everywhere, but not everywhere now because there's a pandemic, obviously. But the Omaha Storm Chasers, the AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals, they didn't let that get in the way. They decided that this would have been their first Saturday of the season and one of their first Saturday home games of the season. So they held a drive-through fireworks show where they had their parking lots open and they partnered with the local radio station to play the music to sync up to the fireworks and encourage people to come down to the stadium, stay in their cars, and have a night out, I guess, which all of us have been lacking for a very long time. So a very cool idea, very cool atmosphere. The place was absolutely jam-packed. They filled the entire parking lot. There's some photos on their Twitter feed of that look like the end of Field of Dreams with all these cars pulling up to it. So that was pretty cool to see. But that's not where it stops. They've also done some other great things, and a lot of minor teams around the country are doing great things. But Omaha, since we're talking about them already, just continue. They've turned their kitchens into a drive-through food facility for people. There's a lot of places that are closing and restaurants that are closing. They've turned their kitchens and concession stands in the ballpark. You can pull up in the parking lot and they run out, chicken tenders, French fries, whatever you need. They have, and they're serving it to people in the parking lot as a, like a drive-through, like you would anywhere else. So it's a great idea. A lot of teams are doing it, and it all ties that back to the idea that hot dogs just taste better at the ballpark, man. It doesn't matter if there's a game or not. You just got to go to a ballpark to get yourself a good hot dog.
Bill, we work at Coney Island. We eat Nathan's. We see Nathan's. We smell Nathan's more than any human being probably should. And yes, while people come to the ballpark 10, 12 times a year, and they get themselves a dog, we have plenty. I have never wanted a hot dog so badly in my life than the last month. I have been dying to just dip my face in sauerkraut. Just in any way, shape, or form.
I have been ordering Instacart. I've been ordering from Peapod, wherever's going to deliver food. I have been trying to get hot dogs for a month, and I can't get them anywhere. Drives me absolutely nuts. Like you said, I never want them. We're around them every day during the year, and it's just this should be baseball season. It's barbecue season, and I just want a hot dog, and I can't get one. So that's what really drew me to this story.
And then finally, we have to talk about this because it's going to become slice of life every day. But on Monday, we're going to do the Last Dance review show at the end of this. Last night, ESPN, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls documentary. And while we would love to talk about this for about 7 hours, I just want to get a couple of your thoughts, Bill, because some things that we saw last night were incredible, including Dean Smith coaching North Carolina, and he's in a suit and tie in practice. I got a kick out of that. And just as far as like minor league baseball is concerned, when they talk about how bad the Bulls were and how empty the place was, and then they interview the director of ticketing, who's like, "Yeah, Michael Jordan was a big help." It's like, well, obviously, he's probably sitting in there going, "Man, we should probably do a theme night or something." And it's like, how about we draft the best player in history?
Yeah, let's maybe we could do a $1 dog night. Maybe we could have discount 25-cent beer night or something like that. No, that's cool. Let's draft the greatest player of all time. Yeah, the last night. So this Last Dance thing is just the medicine that every sports fan in the world needed. Like we've been starved looking for anything new, any brand new content. The NFL draft is this week, so that'll be something. But this movie and this 10-part documentary series has been like talked about for months. So my favorite thing, well, even before it even started, the fact that this stuff was filmed 20 years ago and in a vault in Secaucus that nobody like talked about, and like Spike Lee wanted to do a movie and Jordan was like, nah, and everybody wanted to do a movie and he just kept like blowing them off, was that whole backstory to it gave it like another level of lunacy with how excited I am for this thing. So that was great. The Scottie Pippen and how he went from being a manager for a NAI school to being a NBA Hall of Famer is just outrageous. Like that's stuff that I didn't know. The Olden Polynice for Scottie Pippen trade that was pulled off was outrageous. The fact that Jerry Krause looks like the bad guy from Space Jam, that was another thing that came to me. So I mean, I can't wait. I sat last night, watched the whole thing from start to finish, and wish that it was, you know, like Making a Murderer, and I could just sit there for 12 hours and sit and watch the whole thing. But it was great, well done, and I can't wait for more.
Yeah, 8 hours left to go for The Last Dance. Bill, I think we hit about everything. Hopefully it was a good birthday weekend. And yeah, let's roll along with week 3.
I think we got a birthday tomorrow for you. I'll bring the ice cream cake and I'll blow out the candles on my side. We'll pretend.
All right, it'll be you and Fudgy the Whale tomorrow. I'll see you later.
Can't wait.